Hello, this is Paul, and this is the last part of Lesson 7. We've been discussing about the small program called WordPad and how it can be used, and we've discovered that it is a very usable word processor, although there's not a whole lot of bells and whistles. WordPad comes installed on your computer as part of Windows, and there is an addition with every version, and we are studying with Windows XP, so we're using that version. There seems to be some misunderstandings on the basic use of a word processor in many functions, and one of them is being able to make text appear the way you want it to be. Imagination is very important, and for this exercise I have made a file with WordPad, copying in some text from one of the documents that I hand out as notes from another lesson. So, well, it was this lesson really. It's the Send To menu, and this is part of the notes that I hand out. So, using this, we're going to see some very interesting things of how to work with WordPad and other word processors. That the principles that we're showing here is going to be uniform throughout all of the programs that I have experienced with. Take notice I'm pointing now to the cursor in your document, and this is actually blinking when you're working on your document, and it is commonly known as an I-beam. And the reason it's called an I-beam is because in many programs it has that kind of an appearance, that it is like a very squared off capital letter I, and is called that for a specific reason. Now, one of the problems is if this is not blinking, there could be a reason for you not being able to type something in, and maybe you hit a key that causes one of the menus to be highlighted on the top, and it's not really concentrating on the body of the text. Now, if this should take place and you start typing away and wonder what happened, pressing of the escape key on your keyboard will take care of that problem. So don't get upset or anything that something's wrong with your computer. Just press that escape key and the I-beam should start blinking, and you'll be able to continue typing. Looking back at our text, we have go over it and we say, okay, there are certain things I'd like to do with this to make my paper look more interesting. And one thing that we can do is make a selection of text to be able to make such changes. One thing is that we have to do is to definitely select the text that we want to change. Well, there's a lot of changes that can be made. We can increase the size of the text. We can make it bold. We can make it italics or even underline. Whatever the purpose. We can even change the color of the text if you wish. But we're going to concentrate on a couple things, and we're going to talk about keyboard shortcuts in this. Many people are uncomfortable with keyboard shortcuts because some people have a dexterity problem with using a combination of keyboard keys to do something that they want to do. But it's not that hard once you get familiar with it. To make changes to any of the text that is in your document, first of all, you need to select what you want to change. And to do this, you hold down the left button on your mouse and drag it over the text that you want to change. When you release the button, that text will be highlighted like I have shown here. And the next step is to make a selection of what we want to do. In this case, we're going to change the size of the text, and once we have decided on doing something like that, we're going to go to the top and use the drop down arrow for the different sizes of text and see the list that is available. While pressing on the down arrow that I'm pointing to here, a selection of different sizes is dropped down, and an easy selection can be made that I have made for 48, and by clicking on that 48 the actual size of the text is increased. But take notice of one more thing on this. I made a mistake on saying text available. Actually, you can type in any size you want. And in the class, I have even demonstrated that I made the text so big that only one letter would fit on a page. For this demonstration, I'm keeping this text large so you can see it easily. And let's say we want to make our text to be italics at this time. And it's very easy to do. And that is by a keyboard shortcut, holding down the Control key and just tapping on the letter I. We don't have to hit that key very hard, just a nice tap will do, and you'll get the appearance that we have now. A second tap on the keyboard of the same combination with the Control key held down and tapping on the letter I, you will also return this text to the normal state as before. It is a toggle on and off. Turning the italics off, now let's say we want to underline our text, and that's very easily by holding down the Control key and this time tapping on the letter U. And we will display our text is completely underlined as it was selected. Press of the Control U a second time will turn it off. There might be times when you're just totally confused and want to undo whatever you did to get back to a previous state. This can be done without reopening the file, but go to the Edit menu and look at the drop down from it, and the first item is Undo. The keyboard shortcut is Control Z, and this will be able to take place for the different capabilities of your computer. Different computers have different sizes of memories and be able to store these things in its memory to be able to go backwards. As you press the Control key, hold it down, and tap on Z, it'll go backwards one step at a time and be able to restore you to a previous edition of what you were doing to begin with. I have run into people that has shared with me about the problem of cutting and pasting text to where they want it to be, and I'd like to cover that with this program with WordPad. Now, first of all, I'm going to select where I want to paste something in, of which I have given an extra line space in between the paragraph and the place where I want to insert my extra text. With that, I'll go back and highlight the text that we have been dealing with, the sentence that says the item is copied to the new location, not moved. And let's see how we do this. While this is being highlighted, I will press the Control key and press the letter C for copy, and be able to move the mouse to the new location at the bottom, where I will press the Control key and hold it down again and press the letter V as in victory. That is the key between C and B. The letter V is can be a symbol that in old days when we used to write things and we wanted to insert something, we used a V to insert it where we want it to be. So that letter has been retained. One problem you might encounter is that if you insert something and it overwrites the text that you already have in there, and all at once you come up with a mess, there could be only one little problem that's in mind, and that is pressing the insert button on your keyboard. All keyboards has an insert button. It might be in a different location, however, it works the same way. When you press that insert key, it will change the mode of either pushing text out of the way when you insert something or overwriting it. If you're not getting the right response, try pressing that key, which is the insert key and is located in different locations on different keyboards. Keep in mind that all keyboards are not created equal, especially when it comes to laptops. Some has different keys located all over the place. And this is the end of our discussion on WordPad. And if there is any questions about it, you might give me an email at winUSA@epix.net, and I'll be able to handle that for you. And be sure to go over this as often as necessary. And remember, this is not a credit for a free computer with our programs. You need to come and attend the class, participate, and then you can bring any questions you have, and we'll be happy to handle them.